if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my...
Hello, K-pop lovers. Welcome to Lumen K-pop, a place where every second is filled with love, stories, and surprises from the world of our favorite idols. This is where incredible stories meet your undying passion. We bring you the latest news, exclusive narratives, and interesting theories that will make your heart beat faster. So make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, because every support from you is the fuel for our passion to continue presenting the best content.
You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free.
In the midst of the darkness of the room, a ray of light began to light up on the stage. Music played slowly, accompanying the rising of the spotlights one by one that shone on the empty stage. However, the stage was not really empty. It held hope. Hope from thousands of pairs of eyes who had been waiting for so long. Hope for the return of figures who are more than just stars. They are symbols of struggle, determination, and unconditional love. That night, BTS returned. They did not return as glamorous superstars with flashy clothes. They returned with simplicity, sincerity, and eyes that radiated maturity.
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you...
Kim Namjoon, known to the world as RM, stood at the forefront. His gaze was steady, his steps sure. This time, not only as BTS's leader, but also as a soldier who had fulfilled his duty with full responsibility. With a calm and meaningful voice, he opened the night. "Please look straight ahead." A simple sentence, but touching. As if inviting everyone present to keep moving forward, to keep believing, and to face reality with their heads held high. A reminder that the journey is not over, but they have returned to continue it with their fans. One by one, the other members joined the stage. They did not start singing songs right away. There was no grand choreography. What they brought that night was honesty. And that honesty was more touching than any song lyrics. Sungai was called up, his hands trembling, holding something that looked fragile. A small, warm laugh was heard, not because it was funny, but because there was hope growing amidst the silence.
Play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed.
Private First Class Kim Nam-soo then took over the microphone. He introduced himself not with the title of idol, but as part of the military. "Finally, I had dinner," he said. The sentence is simple, but it contains many stories. Behind it are days of exhaustion, loneliness, and mental struggles that only those who have been through it can understand. He calls himself the shortest, not in terms of height, but because he has not had as many experiences as others. But from that limitation, an appreciation for the little things was born. A full dinner, a genuine laugh, and the opportunity to speak from the heart. Something that might have once been taken for granted, now becomes the most meaningful thing. They then talked about the rigors of military training, the rigid routines, and the distance that felt so far from family, friends, and of course army. The longing was undeniable, but they also knew the sacrifices were not without reason. There was responsibility and there was pride. Moreover, they knew, out there, millions of hearts were waiting for them to return.
You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted, you've been gifted with the evil voodoo.
Kim Taehyung spoke up. His voice was soft, but full of power. He described his service as a time to rediscover himself. "I rebuilt my body and mind," he said. He healed not only the visible wounds, but also the hidden ones. He not only wanted to return, but wanted to return as the best version of himself. And when he said, "I want to run to army," the room fell silent for a moment. The sentence was beyond words. He spoke not only of longing, but also of deep love. Of wanting to repay every second of time that had passed with his presence, with his work, and with a warm embrace in the form of songs and stage energy.
Everything that you did, that you said, I don't think you understand what you're doing. And my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like
The members also expressed their gratitude to their fellow soldiers, superiors, and coaches. "Thank you for taking care of us," they said sincerely. They knew that their courage and sacrifice were not theirs alone. They were just a small part of the thousands of soldiers who stand on the front lines every day. That night was not just a ceremony or a fan meeting. It was a meeting point between two worlds that had felt so far apart, the entertainment world and the real world. And BTS, through their military service, became the bridge that brought them together. They had experienced life far from the glitz, and now they were back with a depth that fame could not buy. When they talked about the future, their eyes shone. There was an album in the making. There was a concert planned. But more than that, there was a spirit of giving. To touch hearts that had missed their voices. To convey stories born from the silence of the military barracks into the rhythm of songs that touched the soul. RM ended his speech with one short but memorable sentence: "I will miss it." An admission that despite its hardships, those times had shaped him. That the sweat, dust, and cold nights had taught him many things. About humans. About loss. About the importance of caring for each other. The applause was heard again, but this time it was deeper. Not just because they were BTS, but because they were people who had returned from an important journey in their lives. A journey that not many people get to go through. And they went through it with honor and sincerity. The music played again. The members waved their hands while looking at the faces that were crying, smiling, and cheering. For BTS, this was not just a comeback. This was a turning point. Point where they returned bringing more than just songs but also life lessons. And for ARMY, who faithfully waited, supported, and believed, that night was proof that love never goes away. That distance never separates those who are connected through the heart. And that every wait always bears sweet fruit if it is based on trust. That night, the world welcomed the return of 7 men not as idols but as human beings who had grown. They brought more than just names, they brought hope. And for that night will live on. In memories, in songs, and in the hearts of everyone who loves them.
Text or I'll come off desperate.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed, thinking something out of my nightmares, saying it right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing?
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting and confusing. Was it me?